I think so. It's not also like you're saying that there are some mistakes in it.
No, I'm not talking about mistakes. Good quality literature, like good using good eloquent language.
Yeah.
Just because you speak good eloquent language, does it mean it is from God?
So it's a hard question, but
It's a very easy question.
it's not. It's
a very easy question.
But in my English level, it's not so easy to explain.
I'll give you a simple example. In English, there are literatures such as Shakespeare's works. Marvelous English literature. Yeah, I mean, just because something is good, excellent English literature, it doesn't mean it is from God.
Okay,
It's simple, logical question.
I think it's okay, but inside the meanings and the things that you said, the history and science, there are lots of also true ones, and I think all of them are true.
Which of them? I gave you plenty of mistakes.
Embryo, you said which process is wrong in the embryo?
According to the Quran, Quran's embryology, first of all, it gives details about embryology in a few different places, and it contradicts each other, first of all. Second of all, in one of the places, it actually says, according to Quranic embryology, the bones come first, and then flesh. This is bonkers.
Like
this is just junk.
If I know it's 100%, I will tell you something, but I don't know it. So
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So you don't know, but I'm telling you. But the point is, I can show you if you like. For now, the point is, Quran's embryology is just junk. It's just junk.
I need to make a research about it.
Sure.
So,
You need to.
Like I need to check some research, like the sources. So if I convince about them, it will be fine. But in my research level, I'm not so high of it. So I think it's correct. But I need to make a research about it.
No, don't know.
Yeah,
when you don't know, you can neither say it is right nor wrong.
Yeah, it's
Can I show you what it says?
yeah.
And let's go through it. Yeah. So Surah 23, ayat 12 to 14. So if we go here, sorry. Surah 23. Do you see that? Ayat 12 to 14. Surah 23. And certainly we did create man from an extract of clay.
Everybody knows 13 is the first one that is easily known.
Sure. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot. So it claims sperm, when it fertilizes, becomes a blood clot. Is that true?
I have no idea about it.
Okay, I can show you human embryology. Blood, when blood comes out, if I have a cut, if blood comes out, it solidifies.
Dry, yeah.
Dries, yeah. So that's a clot. So that's human embryology development.
Yes.
Fertilized egg, 2 cell. When it fertilizes, it forms what is called a zygote, and then it divides one cell, divides into 2 cells. 2 cells divide into 4, and then 8, and so on. And then you have fetus like that in 5 weeks.
Okay.
And then, do you see a stage where it's a blood clot? Is there a blood clot phase?
As an explanation, no.
No, there's no blood clot. Anyone who thinks sperm and ovum come together to form a blood clot doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue about embryology. But this could very well be from a person who clearly doesn't understand science, who is maybe looking at things that he observes externally. And of course, when it comes to reproductive organs, we have, women have, the menstruation and, time when blood comes out. So clearly he is thinking, maybe this has something to do with blood and so on. So people can make mistakes when they don't know science. That's the kind of mistake we're dealing with here. So what does it say? Sperm in a firm lodging, and it says sperm drop into a clinging clot, blood clot. Okay. Wrong. and then it goes on. And we made the clot into a lump, meaning lump of flesh. And we made the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. So according to this, it says first bones are formed, according to the Quran. First bones are formed, and then flesh, like the flesh is formed around the bones. It's almost like, you think, if I am making you like a statue, and of course what is internal to you are your bones, structural. So maybe I make your bones first and then try to, give flesh to you on top. So that's what I would do if I'm doing you like that. But that's not how embryos are formed. So this is a basic mistake. Except clearly, even you in the 21st century, you haven't studied to check if it is true. So we can imagine how in the 7th century Arabia, people did not take the trouble to check. And they thought, hey, look, this is marvelous science. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's a mistake in science. It is not just this. Like I said earlier.
As you said, I cannot say it's right, and I can say it's wrong. So I need to check it. So by myself and make a research about it.
Please. And this is where I showed you both embryonic development.
Like, you're right. Like if I need to make a comment on this section, I need to study on the biology. So it's not so easy because it says some details.
But
maybe
please study.
In that part, there's something about the blood.
Please do study.
Yeah, of course.
What I'm showing you here is popular science. When I say popular science, what I mean is you study this in schooling here, secondary school and so on. It's not easy, and you might have forgotten. You might have studied a long time ago. Now you've forgotten. But when you go home, please study this in detail. I'm showing you, and I'm telling you this is wrong.
Of course, we will check.
Based on my study. So please study. So what did I say? Science mistakes. Basic mistakes. Is there a setting place of sun in the world anywhere? If I need to go to the setting place of the sun, where do I go in the world?
The setting place? What do you mean?
Of the sun.
The sun, yeah.
Where does the sun set? Is there a particular place where the sun sets? If I showed you Google Maps, will you be able to tell me where the sun sets?
It's according to Earth's motion.
Yeah, according to motion. But if I showed you, so this is of course the UK map of UK. But if I ask you, please, can you help me understand where does the sun set? Is there a particular place you can point out to?
In the specific position, it will be west.
It's just directions. There's no place. But Surah 18 actually describes how Dhul-Qarnain went one way and he arrived at the setting place of the sun. Near that there was a village and he had an interaction there. And then he left that place, went the other way and arrived at the setting place of the rising place of the sun, near which apparently there is a village. So according to the Quran, these are two specific villages by which there are rising and setting places of sun. This is just junk. People who...
Maybe it was about like hidden something about literature. And sometimes it's saying something, but it's not actually saying.
You see the problem with this? The problem with this is across the Islamic world, you think the Quran is from God because of science. So in other words, you are depending on the scientific claims. But the scientific claims suddenly, now we have to say, well, they're not scientific, they are maybe poetry. You see what I'm saying? Except in this case, it is meant to be literal because it is describing events. Dhul-Qarnain goes to a place, he sees it set in a setting place, near which there was a village, a specific village. And then he goes the other way and goes to the rising place near which there was a particular village. So this is a historical event according to the Quran. You see, so these are specific literal places. So the Quran makes fundamental mistakes. And so I'd like to comment to you that the Quran could not be from God. Could not be from God. Whoever produced the Quran is not just not God, but is also someone who doesn't even know basic science, basic history.
Yeah, of course. But if you are living in the 6th century, how you can just randomly explain the process of the embryo? It's correct or not? Like you are sitting in the 6th century and just sitting in the the garden, and you will say, let's write something about the embryo process, or just let's say It's correct about as a real science.
No.
But it's
The
also
Quran
explaining
doesn't.
that.
No. Let's stick to embryology. Please make room.
Yeah, no, I don't know
What
about the
you know what the Quran says? The Quran speaks about sperm.
Yeah.
The Quran speaks about, it says fluid. It doesn't know about ovum.
Yeah.
It says fluid. These are things that human beings could see.
of
You know, when it comes to physical intimacy, people can see some of these details.
Yeah.
And so you don't need a 6th century person with some intelligent brain to talk about this. Any human being would have observed some basic details. Blood somehow related to blood somehow, and then the fact that we have bones, the fact that we have flesh, that doesn't take any much intelligence, except the fact that he makes tremendous mistakes tell us he is not even capable of a simple conversation, simple scientific claim. But this is a fellow who doesn't understand basic science. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So the Quran could not be from God. Talk about history. The Quran's history, claims of history, is just bonkers. It is wrong. Junk. Did Turkey have an Islamic messenger pre-Islam in Turkish language?
No, we didn't have it.
No. The Quran claims across the world, all people in their native tongues received an Islamic messenger. It's junk.
Yeah, we have actually, but not on the Ottoman Empire. In the history, Islam.
Pre-Islam. The Quran's claim is all nations across the world in their mother tongues received an Islamic messenger.
What does it say?
The Quran claims across the world, every nation has its appointed time, and at its appointed time,
Every nation has their own prophets. Like
every nation, exactly.
I don't know where this is.
Oh, this is the fundamental tenet in Islam.
In my country, it's not actually.
Yeah, no, it's there in the Quran. I can show you where it is. Surah Al-An'am. Have you read Surah Al-An'am? Surah Al-An'am speaks about this. By the way, this is a book I have written on Islam, so let me answer.
What is the topic? Huh? What is the topic? The topic is the mistakes in the Quran. It's not the word of God.
And what is the word of God? The Quran is not the word of God. What is?
He says own things that he's saying, that everything is like junk. Like you say, embryo process is not correct.
Everything is junk.
What? Science is not correct also.
Science is not correct.
Yeah, it's not, Quran is not saying the science. It's mistakes is yes.
Science do not agree in the miraculous birth of Jesus.
Yeah, he says.
Yeah, but science don't agree with. Most science will tell you Jesus does not have a miraculous birth. Science will not
Adam,
agree in the resurrection
please
of
listen
Jesus.
to me. This guy.
Exactly. So what happens to
guy-
science then?
this guy-
Most scientists are atheists.
Yeah,
So science doesn't prove that the Quran be wrong.
yeah. I think so. Saying
The Quran proves science wrong.
Yes.
Adam, please listen. Please listen. The gentleman standing next to you is utterly clueless. He comes here every week. He has been here for many years. Yet he can't make sense. I'll demonstrate that to you.
I think every idea is
One second. I'll clarify, because he thinks he has made an intelligent point, but he hasn't. I'll clarify what that is. He said, when I presented details about embryology and said the Quran's embryology is junk, I gave you contra evidence that contradicts. Now you said you'll go home and check.
It's
No,
need to be checked. So you must be studying on the
absolutely, you need to. That is why I didn't force that upon you. I said I've shown you. When you go home, you can check. What did the gentleman say?
Science doesn't judge the Bible.
What did the gentleman say? 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 The gentleman, if science contradicts what some book is claiming, if science contradicts, clearly that book is wrong.
No, science is wrong. Science contradicts the miraculous birth of Jesus.
Adam, please.
Science contradicts the resurrection.
Adam, I'm speaking. Please, could I?
So then science.
Adam, I'm speaking to you.
Science don't believe in it.
Please, Adam, please, I'm speaking to you. Please focus on me. Here is where
It's a group
I'm speaking to you. Here is where, please pay attention right now. There is nothing in science that contradicts contradicts a virgin birth of Jesus? Nothing. What in science? Is there a law that says virgin birth God can't achieve? Is there any such law?
not scientific.
Scientific law?
It's not scientific. It's not scientific.
It's like a miracle of God.
Exactly.
Exactly.
God can.
Which scientist agrees with it?
There is a difference between saying God can perform miracles.
Of course, yeah.
God can
Also
perform.
via the prophets.
God can perform miracles. We both agree. Both of us agree. I agree. God can perform miracles. But God can't get basic scientific details wrong.
God don't deal
Do
with
you
science.
hear what I'm saying?
God don't deal
Let's
with
put it this way. You have two hands. Yeah. You have two hands. Now, it is true that God. Yeah, please. Please. It is true that God can suddenly give you, there's nothing preventing, if He wanted to give you one more hand, for example. God can do it. Yeah.
He can do it, but
Once. He can do it, yeah?
Yeah.
But God can give you an additional hand right now, which would be clearly a miracle. But God can't come here and say you only have one hand. He can't do that.
Yeah, but that analogy
Because,
is flawed.
hear what I'm
Because
saying?
nowhere in history
God
give
cannot.
a man free hands. So the analogy is flawed. It's a
I'm
flawed
focusing
analogy.
on it. Please focus on
Yeah,
it.
but it's flawed.
This gentleman,
It's false.
this
The
gentleman,
analogy is false.
utterly clueless,
God never
has
gives
been
anybody
here
three
for
hands.
many.
Are you a Hindu?
So to you,
Are you a Hindu?
very simply,
So three hands.
God
Hinduism.
performing.
You cannot impose Hinduism on a Muslim.
Adam, if you're going to be distracted, I'll move away.
Then you can
I'll
go.
move. So
you can go if you want.
would you like to have a conversation? Sure,
You
sure.
can go.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
you can go.
When you go home, please find out.
If God wants to give you free,
So this is the problem we have. Basic science, terrible mistakes. Basic science.
God never give anybody free hands. And Hinduism.
God can perform miracles, but God can't make mistakes. It's basic science. Basic, simple to understand information.
Human science.
God, when you go home, please remember just two statements. God can perform miracles, God cannot make mistakes. Two very simple statements. So, my dear friends, oh yes, sir. In the 21st century, we have a choice to make. Even at Speaker's Corner, there are people advancing this weird, useless claim that the Quran is from a supernatural source. This is what people are claiming at Speaker's Corner. Don't shout.
Sorry, apologize.
Yes, you must apologize.
I'm sorry.
And if you, whilst apologizing, if you please move away, that'll be lovely. So, at the same time, my dear friends, come to the Bible. The Bible is a marvelous literature. Hello, my dear COVID friends. Both of you, the Bible